Somebody's got some explaining to do. Hello everyone, my name is Katie Carson. I am the Duchess of Suds here at Royalty Soaps. Welcome back to the 12 Days of SOAPMAS. Now listen, I wanted to do the DIY soap jelly recipe here on the channel for probably 3 months. And then I saw Sophia Nygaard do like a testing viral soap hacks video, and the soap jelly was one of the things she did, and sis had so much trouble. And I was like, why? It's like 3 ingredients. Why is this so hard? I gotta know. And then I thought, foolishly, that I could be some sort of expert in the field because I make soap and therefore I know everything about soap. I thought maybe I will make a video that actually helps people make soap jellies at home that actually work. But lo! After all of this mess, I have discovered a great many things, one of which is that making soap jellies at home is difficult if you're not using a pre-made soap jelly base. I've tried beef gelatin, I've tried Castile soap, I've tried regular hand soap, I tried using half a cup of water and 3/4 a cup of water. I've probably made 6 batches by now. None of them are working. Exactly the same thing that happened to Sophia is happening to me. Either it's not setting up at all, which is like step 1 failure, or step 2 failure, it's just disintegrating in my hands whenever I'm using it in the sink. And so, while I thought this was going to be an educational video with a very positive outcome, I'm really not sure what we're doing. And there's so many tutorial videos about this. It's not just like viral soap hack videos. It's soap teaching channels and craft teaching channels and DIY channels, and then of course viral soap channels. All of those people make videos like this and rep this product, and it's just not legit. I'm not even angry, I'm just shocked. So let's talk about soap jelly in general. What the heck even is it? Well, soap jellies were things that Lush created eons ago. They jiggle in your hand and they also lather, so you bathe with it while you also try to catch it because it falls out of your hands 50 times. It's really fun for kids. They think it's the best thing ever. It's a great way to encourage them to actually get in the bath. And I'm not gonna lie, I really like using them. I think they're fun. I don't mind peeling them off the floor 15 times because it's so fun to squeeze it. So in the 2015-2016 area, there was this huge craze for how can we make the darn things at home because we don't want to spend $10 at Lush on them. And actually, it makes me wonder, are they still $10? We about to find out. Lush shower jellies, head to toe indulgence. Let me see. $11 for 3.3 ounces, or for 8 ounces, 25 schmackers. No wonder people are trying to make this at home. They have lots of different kinds of shower jellies, soap jellies, whatever you want to call them. And around Christmas time, they had one that was in the shape of a bell. After looking here on their website, I don't think they're doing that one this year, nor do I think they're doing any of the fun shapes, probably due to current world events. But all to say, they were a really big deal and people wanted to make them at home because it was cheaper. Now, I already have a video on making them at home more inexpensively. Look, here's the thumbnail. You can go watch that. That is using a jelly soap base. You can buy the base, you add your fragrance, you add your color, there you go, boom, you pour it, you melt it. It's amazing, but trying to make the whole thing from scratch was the goal of today's video. So number 1, all of the recipes that I found were all volume measurement recipes, which you guys know I don't prefer. And the reason is because your teaspoon and my teaspoon could be 2 completely different things. Maybe you like to heap yours up a little bit. Maybe I like mine completely flat. Maybe I have a scant teaspoon. But when you're working with volume measurements this small, like a cup or less, having a little extra salt or a little less salt can make or break your entire recipe. So it's way more accurate to use grams. You can get a kitchen scale for 10 bucks, sometimes even cheaper on Amazon. And if you're gonna go to all the trouble to DIY buying a soap jelly in the first place, buy the scale, save yourself the headache. The other thing that's like glaringly terrible about these soap jellies is the smell of the gelatin. So the gelatin packs that they always tell you to get are these Knox gelatin packs. And these are made with beef gelatin. And I can tell you, the smell when this gets heated up, honestly, the smell of it just here in a cup is heinous, but the smell of it heated is even worse. And for all of you girls out there that did the blackhead remover peels with this and milk that you heat up and put on your nose, you'll know the smell. It's very bad. And so for the 3 things I've already tested, I tried to kill the smell with one of the strongest fragrance oils I have. It's Peppermint Candy by Wholesale Supplies Plus. Y'all, it didn't work. I could still smell that really nasty scent of the gelatin. So for me, that's a lose. Like, even if it bubbles up and that's perfect and it's a perfect, if it smells bad, you're gone. You know. So yeah, here's what I'm gonna do now. After looking at all those recipes and trying to figure out a solution to the bad stench, the super wiggly nature of the jellies that like just disintegrate and all of that, I'm gonna try to make my own recipe. And it's gonna be weight-based. I have no idea if this is gonna work or not. So if it does, hooray for me, and I'll leave you guys the recipe I used down in the description box below. If it doesn't work, well, you can just watch me fail at trying to do shower jellies from scratch for like 12 minutes. It's a win-win. So first, let's start with the water. Most of the recipes I saw called for 3/4 of a cup to a cup of water. And if you weigh that out, that's 215 grams of water. Some people use tap water, some people use distilled water. I'm going to use distilled water today because I have it available. Also, yes, I have Caleb's keys here on my pants. And normally I would put those down before a video, but as I was walking, I noticed that it was making a lovely jingle sound, and I liked it, so I left them. Enjoy. There we go. 215 grams of water. Now, for the gelatin, I am not going to use beef gelatin. It smells so bad. Instead, I'm going to try to use agar powder. So this is a natural vegetarian alternative to beef gelatin. You can get it on Amazon. This was like $8 or something. Agar is a naturally gelatinous powder derived from marine red algae. It's the perfect vegetarian substitute for beef gelatin in any food application and makes an excellent thickener for soups, jellies, ice cream, and more. You heard it from the Now Real Food brand first, folks. It is a natural substitute for beef gelatin, and so I'm going to use this instead. Now, each one of those Knox gelatin packets has about 7.5 grams of gelatin in it. So I'm going to do a 1-for-1 sub with the agar powder, and if it stinks, we'll dial it back and try it again. So I now have my agar powder and I have my water. The next thing I have to do is measure out some liquid soap. Now, all of the different tutorials had different soaps they were using. Some were using scented, some were using unscented. Some people were using Dial, some people were using super expensive luxury Castile soap like I bought this Dr. Bronner's. Now, maybe some people don't think this is super luxury, but it seemed expensive to me for what's in it. Liquid soap was basically the only thing advertised in those recipes, which feels a little bit obscure to me, but we're gonna go with it. Now, another thing I always notice about soap jellies that people make at home is that they never bubble well. They always rub their hands like this and you see 0 bubbles, 0 lather. So I'm going to try to boost the lather by adding a liquid surfactant to my Castile soap right here. So I'm going to add 120 grams of the Castile soap, and then I'm going to add 10 grams of Isolux Ultra Mild, which is a surfactant blend from the Chemistry Connection. It is super, super, super gentle. It's actually recommended for using if you make like baby soap or baby shampoo. You could alternatively use cocamidopropyl betaine, but that's a little bit harsher than the Isolux Ultra Mild, so that's why I'm using that. And to my liquid soap, I'm gonna go ahead and add the color and the fragrance so that I only have to do one dump. I would like to make some Christmas tree soap jellies. Now, whether or not I'll get to do that is another thing. So, for the green color, I'm using the Maniacal Pea. I'm adding about 1/4 of a teaspoon. Now, again, I don't like to use volume measurements really often, and we don't actually use them here at Royalty Soaps. Everything is measured in grams, but a lot of people who make soap do use teaspoon and tablespoon measurements, and I certainly used to, so that's pretty much industry standard for me to use a teaspoon for color. And then I'm going to take my trusty peppermint candy fragrance oil, and I'm going to add about 5 milliliters to the soap. That will make everybody super, super fragrant. 5 milliliters is roughly 3 grams, just for y'all wondering out there. Okay, so let's go heat this water up in the microwave until it starts to get boily. Boily? That's a gross word. Ugh. Also, a correction. I just looked at the Lush website again and realized I gave you the prices for shower gel, not shower jellies. So 3.5 ounces is $8.95 or $9, and then 8.4 ounces is $16.95. So basically 8 ounces is $17. And just as a reference, my frosted high top artisan soaps weigh anywhere between 7.5 to 8 ounces, and I charge $12 for them. So a little higher than standard, but nothing crazy. Okay, so let's go ahead and add this agar powder to our water. I'm gonna blend this in really well. Smells salty. I'm also adding about 5.5 grams of salt. Just gonna blend that in really good. All right, let's mix up our fragrance oil, our surfactant, our soap, and our color real quick. Go ahead and pour that into my salty agar water. Gonna blend this up really, really well. Make sure everything has dissolved and is incorporated. Spritz the top with some rubbing alcohol to pop all those little baby bubbles. And that's about as good as I can do. So I'm now going to pour my mixture into this silicone ice cube tray that I got off of Amazon. It's little Christmas trees, and I thought that would be fun and festive. I'm just gonna pour each one of these. It's so runny. I'm suspicious. Gonna spritz the top of this with rubbing alcohol again, and then I'm also gonna spritz the top with a little bit of Sparkle Plenty mica from Mad Micas. Give it a little bit of something shimmery and fun on top. Y'all know how I like my sparkles. And then I'm going to pop this into the refrigerator for about 6 hours, and that is a long time to wait. There's certain parts of soap making that give you such instant gratification, and so when I get to DIYs, it's like, wait 6 to 8 hours. I'm like, oh no. Also, this makes me wonder, what does Lush use as their gelatin base for their soap jellies? Surely they're not using beef gelatin. Let's see. Glycerin, honey water, sodium lauryl sulfate. Wow. Propylene glycol, carrageenan extract. Yep, pretty sure that's the gelatin. Carrageenan extract. That looks like seaweed. Is that what that is? It's an extract from a red seaweed commonly known as Irish moss. Wait a second. What is agar though? Agar is a naturally gelatinous powder derived from marine red algae. Red seaweed? Red algae? Huh! Apparently you can also buy carrageenan. I don't know exactly how to say that, but you can buy the powdered form. I should try making shower gels with that. Maybe I should try to duplicate what Lush did and use a sodium lauryl sulfate alternative with some propylene glycol, this carrageenan powder, and then, you know, water or whatever else they have in there. That might be a fun experiment. Yeah, as I'm looking, the next thing after that is fragrance. And you know, people normally use 5% or less of fragrance, so everything after that is also just like essential oils, which we all know they use like teeny tiny bits of. So mainly it's glycerin, which is the most, honey water, sodium lauryl sulfate, propylene glycol, and then that one extra thing. I feel like we might could do that. Huh, okay, well, I'm going to put this in the refrigerator now, and I'll see you guys back here later for the results. Well, that didn't work. So it's been like 2 days and I let them sit in the refrigerator and it's disgusting. Also, yes, I got a perm because I know y'all are gonna mention that. I had like straight hair in one clip and now I have curly hair. Ta-da! Yay! Thank you, Cat Love It. You're so sweet and I love you so much. And yes, it's just, this is more me. Anyway, so this just didn't work. All of my marvelous ideas never really solidified, you might say. It's still completely watery. Everything sunk to the bottom. Obviously, the agar-agar was not strong enough to gellify all of that liquid. Maybe if I used more of it, that would help. But honestly, at this point, I'm just like, why? Why would I keep going? I've made like 6 batches at this point, and the only batches I was able to get to solidify even slightly were the ones with the beef gelatin, and those stank so bad. It's not even worth me telling you what recipe I concocted because it'll smell heinous. So here's what you should do if you want to make soap jellies at home, because I just can't recommend any of the recipes or any of the things because it will either just not solidify or it will just stink. Here's what I recommend at this point. Get yourself some soap jelly base. It's like melt and pour, except it's jelly. As an example, I have this 50-pound pail of soap jelly base. It's from Essentials by Catalina. It got to me in 5 to 7 business days-ish. Pretty quick shipping. You can obviously purchase much less than 50 pounds of it, but it's the best. So I made some soap jellies using the soap jelly base. These feel exactly like Lush soap jellies. So I can squeeze them pretty hard and they're not breaking, like at all. Like I'm squeezing and it's still holding together. You see my little stockings. I also made some little Christmas bells. You could make these silver, make them just like the ones that Lush has. But yes, using a soap jelly base is the way to go. Trying to do it from scratch just has not yielded any results worth speaking about for me. This is so much easier. You literally just chop it up and pour it. Again, I have a whole video where I make soap jellies from a soap jelly base. I'll link that. I've already linked it. You know where it is if you need it. But trying to make this from scratch has been nothing but a failure. I love ending videos with something positive. Like, I love there to be an outcome that's worth sharing. And the only redeeming one I can think of right now is simply just to use a soap jelly base. Don't try to do it from scratch. It's not worth your time. And honestly, the most cost-effective way to do it is simply to buy a soap jelly from somebody else if you're worried about cost. But if you really want to do it yourself, buy the base, buy yourself your favorite fragrance that you want to use, and get some colorant, maybe even some eco-friendly glitter, and you're good to go. Don't waste your time with all those other steps. Well, thank you very much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Come back tomorrow. I'll have another video for the 12 days of SOAPMAS if you're interested, and be sure you do something fun for yourself today, like, I don't know, buying some soap jelly base, or maybe making your favorite Christmas Jell-O. Do you have a family Jell-O recipe you like to make? My grandmother makes one with fruit cocktail and strawberries and stuff, and she puts it in the Jell-O, and it's delightful. It's downright delicious. I don't really care what you do, just be sure to do something fun for yourself, and I will see you guys tomorrow. So until then, bye for now.